All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon, and in this video, we're going to talk about Floyd Mayweather Jr., Al Haymon, Mayweather Promotions, and a lawsuit for breach of contract, fraud, and various other things that have been filed in the state of California over the sell or the resale of tickets for the Floyd Mayweather Jr. Logan Paul fight. Let's talk about that in this video. Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon. Before I get into the video, please make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit that bell icon, and select all notifications so that you can get notified of when we release more videos. All right, man. This video is going to be about a lawsuit that was filed in California by an entity named Yogi Security Holdings LLC. Through its executive, a guy named Joseph Englenoff, against Floyd Mayweather Jr., Al Haymon, and a series of other people associated with the business transaction that went awry, according to Mr. Englenoff. Now, I'm going to get into the details of it, so keep track. However, before I do that, I want to let you know why I think it is important to understand what's going on here, and it is because it is illuminating as to how, if this scenario is true, if this is true, because it's alleged, right? And just to be clear, Floyd Mayweather is not being accused of doing anything illegal. Al Haymon is not being accused of doing anything illegal. There's nothing at all against the law about the setup that they are accused of having done, but it does give a very good view, if true, of how they do pretty much alchemy in with boxing tickets, right? And some of this we've known before, but to see how it kind of works in this, I think is very educational, because a lot of people ask me, you know, how do these fighters in the PBC make so much money when you look at their purses and it's not that high? You look at the ticket sales. The ticket sales and the gate that's reported by the different venues, and you say, man, that doesn't look so high. How do these guys drive around in Lamborghinis and $1 million chains on their necks and all of that? And if this is true, or the inner workings of this lawsuit are true, it gives a good insight into how that can be the case. So briefly, you know, and at a very high level, these are the facts. Joseph Englenoff works for a company called Yogi Securities Holdings LLC, and he was made an offer by a person, not Al Haymon, not Leonard Ellerbe, not Floyd Mayweather Jr., but another person who was, for the sake of this man's argument, representing Floyd and representing Mayweather Promotions, representing Al Haymon. He was asked to give it an opportunity to invest in a bulk purchase of boxing tickets. He invests, according to his complaint, he invested $1.4 million in tickets for the Floyd Mayweather Jr. Logan Paul fight. The deal was that he would invest the $1.4 million, and then they would resell. They would take those tickets that he bought for that his investment paid for. They would then take those tickets, raise the prices of those tickets, and resell them. When the tickets were resold, what they agree, according to this complaint, and again, this is a complaint, this does not mean that it is true, right? That they would return the $1.4 million initial investment off the top, and for the tickets that were resold, Yogi Securities, or Mr. Englenoff, would get 25% of the profits, and Floyd Mayweather Jr. and Al Haymon, whatever that means, would get the remaining 75% of the profits, right? So Mr. Englenoff invested the money, and then after the Floyd Mayweather Jr. Logan Paul fight, he went to go see about his money, and they didn't pay him his money. And they said, we don't have the money. What we did was we reinvested the money in tickets for Manny Pacquiao versus, Mayweather. They reinvested it in Manny Pacquiao versus Yordenis Ugas. And they said that they owed him. He said that he has emails saying that they owed him $4.88 million, right? So he invested for $1.4 million. They owed him $4.8 million. So you know what the profit on it was. The profit was roughly $12 million, $12 million in profit. How do you get that? Well, with 4.8 million minus the 1.4, right? You get 3.4. If 3.4 is 25% of something, right? You just multiply that 3.4 times 4, right? Times 3, and there you get the other guy's profit because it's 1/3 of it, right? So what it winds up being is on a $1.4 million investment, they resold the tickets for $12 million. So that is, last time I checked, that is 1.4 times 9 point something, which means whatever those tickets were originally sold for, and you get the gate and you get the face value of those tickets, that's not what they actually earn. They actually earn 9 times more than that. So if somebody invested $5 million in the ticket, because this is just one guy investing $1.4 million in it, right? Say somebody bought $5 million for the tickets off the top, and they did basically the same thing. They're going to wind up bringing in $20 million, right? It just goes up like that. It's absolutely that's what you call alchemy. That is turning a little bit into a lot. Now, what the guy is saying is that, again, none of this is illegal. None of it is unethical. None of it is actually, in a capitalist society, none of it is immoral. What they're saying is, though, that he didn't actually pay him the money, that they took the $1.4 million, they invested it, they said they were going to pay him back, and then they never actually paid him back. The only thing that they ever did was give him $100,000. So he's saying he's in the hole for $1.3 million, and there, poof, went the rest of the money. Now, I can't speak to, again, the truth or falseness of this guy's allegations. I don't know. That's going to have to go to court to see that. But I will tell you that the way that they're dealing with the tickets in this scenario sound just like what Frank Warren accused Eddie Hearn of in the UK with the reselling of those tickets and saying, look, man, these guys are taking these tickets. They're immediately taking them off the market so regular people can't buy them, and they hold the tickets, and then the last minute they jack up the price and sell it to you for ridiculous amounts of money, which is why they're saying that all of these fights and all this stuff are being sold out, right? Because somebody comes in and for just off the lower set face value, invests money, pulls them off, and then sells the tickets. Whatever they sell, they sell. Whatever they don't sell at the end of the day, I don't know if they give them away or whatever they do. But that's just, man, it's absolutely amazing to me. Now, the guy, as far as what I can see, though, this guy never says in his complaint that he actually talked to Floyd Mayweather about those tickets. He never actually talked to Al Haymon about those tickets. He was dealing with somebody that was talking about, representing him as a third party. So this guy that is saying it may actually just pulled one over on him and said, okay, if you send $1.4 million to Mayweather Promotions, we're going to get these bulk tickets. So Mayweather Promotions might have just sold them the $1.4 million worth of tickets, and that could have been the last of their involvement in the issue, right? But they could have given that the money, the actual tickets to the guy that bought them. That guy could have ran off and sold those tickets. So, you don't know what actually happened until these guys go and they go through the lawsuit or whatever. But as far as just monetarily, how that worked and how these guys can make that much money buying these bulk tickets and reselling them to boxing fans at elevated prices, man, that's capitalism. Can't hate on them for it, but it explains why these tickets prices are so jacked up. And it also goes to, saying, man, that the pressure that is put on American boxing fans, to support, how expensive these guys are making this sport, man, is just, it drives fans away. But anyway, that's my take on the matter. You let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out. Peace.